So you've picked your race, but you're having a hard time figuring out what class to play. It's kind of a hard one, but let me step in and help you with this one. Hi guys, it's Inked, and today I will be explaining the classes and their respective skill lines in the Elder Scrolls Online. Please note I will not be spoiling the abilities of each of the skill lines within classes, but will give you a brief description of each class and what they are good for. I will also be explaining the new class coming with Necrom, the Arcanist. Right, let's get into it. Dragon Knights are skillful masters at arms using the ancient Akaviri martial arts tradition of battle spirit. They also wield fearsome magic that pounds, shatters and physically alters the world around them. Dragon Knights have at their arsenal Ardent Flame, which is geared towards flame damage, which will do primarily more damage over time and stuns. Next up is Draconic Power, which is heavily focused towards self-preservation and defensive abilities. This means lifesteal, buffing resistances and reflecting damage to enemies. And finally for the Dragon Knight they have an Earthen Heart. This line allows them to reflect damage and create heavy debuffs on enemies, also supplying allies with increased defense. Next up is the Nightblade. The Nightblades thrive on conflict and misfortune, trusting to their luck and cunning to survive. Now, to say you need to be stealthy isn't all true, because Nightblades can make amazing tanks and supports. The Assassination skill line is geared towards dealing direct damage to your enemies and increasing your total critical damage. Next up is Shadow. This skill line is heavily geared towards self-preservation, with some abilities ranging from inflicting fear to becoming invisible. And for the last one we have Siphoning. This skill line has abilities which can debuff and damage enemies, which can provide self-heals and positive buffs to the caster and their allies. In comes the Sorcerer. With their incredible mastery of Magicka, they can summon creatures from Oblivion to aid them with stuns and dealing direct damage. Dark Magic is their second skill line, which heals and supports yourself and your party, whilst creating strong stunning moments against enemies. And finally, Sorcerers can use Storm Calling, and you may have guessed it, yes, all of it is based around lightning storms. Next up is the Templar. These travelling knights call upon the powers of light and the burning sun to deal massive damage to their enemies while restoring health, magicka and stamina to their allies. They have access to the Adric Spear skill line, which has incredible amounts of damage and can also stun. Dawn's Wrath is a supportive and damage skill line, which allows strong debuffs and conditional damage abilities. And finally, Restoring Light is the third and final skill line for the Templar, which allows heavy protection and major healing skills. Next up is the Warden. This class didn't come with the standard game originally, but instead came with the first expansion, Morrowind. Now you can unlock them in the Crown Store for 1,500 crowns. These Defenders of the Green and Protector of Animals have many powerful skills. Their first skill line, Animal Companions, allows you to summon some crazy animals to fight with you, and even having a giant bear roam around with you through the lands. Green Balance allows you to tap into nature and summon flora to help you and your allies through the difficult battles ahead. And their final one, Winter's Embrace, allows you to harness your inner Elsa and deal frost damage and create frost armor for you and your allies. The Necromancer is available to anyone who owns the Elsewhere chapter. The Necromancers are Deathbringers and masters of the unforgivable arcane arts. Gravelord is the first skill line, which allows elemental magic to deal damage. Bone Tyrant bases all its skills around defense and sustaining your team, allowing you to manifest armor made of your enemies. And their final one, Living Dead, allows you a mix of healing abilities and resurrection abilities, which can heavily motivate a fight in your favour. Also, as a quick heads up, using Necromancer abilities in front of most NPCs will incur a bounty. These skills will be marked with Criminal Act. And finally, from the upcoming Necrom chapter, the Arcanist. The Arcanist draws power from Hermaeus Moira's Plane of Oblivion, Apocrypha. Apocryphal Soldier is the first skill line, which provides defensive abilities to help buff you and your party. Herald of Tomb is the second skill line with damage dealing abilities using arcane energy and the new currency. And Creative Runeforms is the final skill line, which mainly aims at supportive heal abilities to restore your party. This skill line also has that portal you've been seeing in the trailers. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to ask in the comments. But there you have it. Here is a brief class guide to the Elder Scrolls Online. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.